Welcome to Planet Africa. I am Patricia Baby Mbawa. On today's program, we're featuring Stachen Frederick, the Executive Director of Western Frontline Center and the founder of Braids for AIDS, an organization established to bring awareness about HIV/AIDS and prevention in the African-Canadian community. Recently, Stachen received the prestigious L'Oreal Women of Worth Award, which came with a $10,000 reward for Braids for AIDS.
My name is Stachen Frederick and my organization is called Braids for AIDS, and it is created to raise awareness around HIV/AIDS within the African, Caribbean and Black communities. Braids for AIDS, how we bring it to the community is through beauty and through hair. A lot of people who come out to our event, they typically won't normally go to something around HIV/AIDS or sexual health. We go where the community is, because sometimes the community is not going to come to us. HIV is almost an end result to something that could have been addressed. What sets Braids for AIDS apart from different organizations is that it's even engaging people in something fun to talk about something serious. I'm here at a salon that I typically come to, and my hairdresser, she knows all my business, right? Because you come, you sit down, there's something therapeutic about somebody being in your hair, and you're building a relationship. This Woman of Worth program, it's been an honor, and I think it's helping to raise awareness of the cause of HIV/AIDS, and if you're looking at the intersectionality of a number of community issues, there you will find HIV/AIDS. So I think that's my piece to leave with. Braids for AIDS came about just sort of as a eureka moment. I was working as an HIV/AIDS prevention coordinator in Ottawa. And while working in the field, I realized that there was discrepancy in regards to funding not actually reaching and meeting the needs of the community. So I know that I had to find a way of raising funds for programs within the African and Caribbean community that was culturally specific. I didn't know how. One day when I was about to get my hair braided, I looked down on a package of braids and I saw the word AIDS pop out of the word braids. And so that was my eureka moment. And so what I did was package red, white, and black beads. And I used that to raise funds by putting it in different hair salons or other African and Caribbean establishments. And then, of course, raise funds for the community programs in Ottawa. And of course, the organization has grown from since then, which was in 2008, and impacting communities here in Toronto, in Sudbury, in Vancouver, some of the areas where Braids for AIDS has reached.
Planet Africa Television will be right back.
Braids for AIDS provides HIV/AIDS awareness and resources to the African-Canadian community through culturally appropriate practices. One of the most popular events of the organization is the annual Braidathon.
Today we are giving you access to this great event called Braidathon, Braids for AIDS. It is a place where women gather together and they beautify themselves with braids and talk about how to prevent, how to empower women and prevent them from having any type of sexual disease or being victims of AIDS. We are here at this great event You founded this particular organization to help black women out. Could you tell us a little bit about this?
Sure. Braids for AIDS is an organization to raise awareness around HIV/AIDS within the African and Caribbean communities. Today's event is actually called a braidathon. So you have a marathon, you have a bikeathon, we have a braidathon. So in the back, you'll probably see a lot of women getting their hair done, and that's part of our braidathon.
At the Braidathon, we have a number of hairdressers that come and give of their time, as well as student volunteers from the local Marker College, and that has been one of our major supporters for the past 5 years. And so it's a full day of getting your hair done by a hairdresser. We have a number of activities going on to engage people around the conversation around HIV, AIDS in 2017, which was our 5th annual Braidathon. We have Nikita Cornwall that came. She's an international model that came to talk about women empowerment. We had a woman empowerment panel, a number of prominent women in Toronto talk about HIV/AIDS, women empowerment. We had Women's Health and Women's Hand be present doing rapid anonymous HIV/AIDS testing. So all of these were things and activities that people could engage. We had a number of women vendors, so people can walk around the space and get different information or purchase various items.
A lot of black women in our communities, like, they don't realize their worth. You know, they really don't realize their worth. They don't realize how much they need to protect themselves. They need to protect their inner chi, you know, and know themselves as being the queen that they are. And a lot of guys, it's really easy for them to inveigle and for them to mislead women as well, and kind of manipulate them into thinking that it's okay to not use protection. But that is totally not okay at all. And I think it applies the same way with hair. You know, a lot of people add in all of these heat. You need to protect yourself. You need to protect. There's a lot of dangerous diseases going around out here, and a lot of people, you know, they're underestimating how easily it can be spread. So I think this event is wonderful. It's beautiful to tap into it and you know, join it to something as hair, because it's like, it's a woman's crown. You know, it's her beauty, it's her essence, her femininity. Yeah.
Here at Braids for AIDS, can you tell me a little bit? I know you participated in the discussions. Tell me a little bit about what you understand about this particular event.
So my understanding of this event is that it's about just bringing awareness about HIV/AIDS, awareness essentially in our community, trying to fight the stigma around HIV/AIDS. Because today, with all the treatments and technology, people are able to live with HIV/AIDS for a pretty long time. And so I was part of the Women Empowerment and Sexual Health panel with my background in public health. And so it was just really great to see a lot of women who were willing to be open about their situations and to join in that discussion, because that's really what part of, you know, black womanhood is about.
So we are here with one of the vendors at the Braidathon. How you doing? Please, would you tell the audience your name?
I'm Zainab, and this is Z's Closet.
So this product you're selling is Afrocentric in nature?
Yes, they are. All the jewelries are made with African print or an African-inspired material.
So is this your first time coming to Braidathon?
Yes, it is. And so far, I'm loving it.
So basically, we are combining beauty with protection.
Absolutely. I think they do need to go together a lot more often.
So tell me, what have you learned here, and what would you pass to your customers and your friends about being beautiful and being empowered to protect themselves sexually?
that it is okay to ask questions. You're never the only one going through what you're going through. And if you don't ask questions, you'll never know who else is experiencing that in your circle. So it's okay to ask questions.
Planet Africa Television will be right back.
Welcome back. Stachen Frederick, the Executive Director of Western Frontline Center and founder of Braids for AIDS, received a prestigious L'Oreal Women of Worth Award, which came with a $10,000 reward for Braids for AIDS.
I'm thankful for my family for their support, and for my mother, who is present tonight from being overseas, for being such an intelligent and respected woman in her field to give me an example to follow. I am thankful for other women like her, such as my mentee, my mentor, my first role model in Canada, who's here today, Denise Yele. We are receiving the $10,000 to continue our work with hairdressers and to do more work in the prisons with young men. Because HIV is not a disease in a second world country or in a third world country. It's right here in Canada. Let us all make a resolve to find a way of connecting so that we can collectively impact societies with the monies and the privilege that all of us have been given. I congratulate all the other honorees today for being a woman of work. Thank you.
Braids for AIDS mission is to raise awareness of HIV/AIDS within African, Caribbean, and Black communities through culturally specific activities around hair braiding. So the model utilizes hair as the main entry point to engage people, and then, of course, we bring in the conversations around HIV/AIDS. So currently, we have a young men's prison project where we go into the detention center and we provide cane row services to the young men. And while they're getting their hair done, we have the conversations around HIV/AIDS. We have a program where we go in and we train hairdressers on HIV/AIDS one-on-one information so that they can pass on information to the client. From the African Caribbean community, we spend a lot of times in the hair salon. We're getting our hair done, and in that time, conversations come up about, relationships, right? And so, rather than inaccurate information being passed on in these community spaces, we want to equip people with the appropriate knowledge so that they can pass it on to the clients. I don't think hairdressers realize their impact. It's not just about beauty, but they are also community leaders in their community if they're able to provide, the appropriate information and resources to their clients. We also have our annual Braidathon, and so during that time we have a number of hairdressers that give of their time, and we have people coming to get their hair done, and the funds from that goes into our programs. We also had a program in West Toronto where we provided free hairdressing supports and services to young women. So we taught them how to braid, twist, weave, and then we also provided them with the health promotion information around HIV/AIDS, as well as the social determinants of health that put people at risk around HIV/AIDS. And so that then when they're going out into the community, they are able to provide knowledge. So they're not only, we were not only assisting from an economic standpoint of giving them skills so that they can be able to do someone's hair and get paid, but also providing them that training on the health promotion so that they could be community leaders within their community. So those are some of the programs that we have established.
I am here with a dynamic, awesome lady. Would you please introduce yourself to the audience?
My name is Kim Niles, founder of I Can and I Will, here hosting the Braids for AIDS event.
So tell me, what inspired you to come here and host this event?
It helped me to really open up my knowledge about HIV, about AIDS, understanding it, because it's something that is unspoken. And usually when someone says AIDS or HIV, people tend to get scared. Everyone goes quiet. Even this morning in hosting the event, I mentioned, talked to me about what HIV awareness is, and the room was still. If a ghost was passing through, we would hear him. So for me, it was a deep meaning in coming on to do this, so that I love to empower people, and this helped to deepen my knowledge about health.
Tavia Charles, how are you?
I'm well, thank you, and how are you?
I am just awesome. We're having fun here at the Braids for AIDS.
Yeah, amazing event. It's so amazing to see all these beautiful women coming together, doing something so productive for such a great cause. I'm so thankful to be here.
So tell me, what is your contribution to this particular event, and what do you think that we need to do to reduce the spread of AIDS in Black communities?
For sure. So I'm talking about the importance of Black hair and loving your hair as a Black woman. And I just want to be able to spread and spread awareness in how beautiful Black women are and how we need to love our natural state. I'm excited to talk to all the ladies and kind of discuss my love for Black hair and where and why my journey started.
A lot of people have this knowledge and they still don't do it. They still don't practice safe sex. They get all caught up in this love. Like, I'm all for love. I'm about everything love. But people misinterpret it and they see that's not love. Having unprotected sex it's not love. And women and men alike, I think, they get caught up in that and they're like, well, okay, we're in love, so we could have unprotected sex. But no, he could be in love with you and be with somebody else, you're getting all of that, whatever that next person have, and it's just like a domino effect going down the line, So definitely knowledge is power when you put the knowledge into action.
Planet Africa Television will be right back.
Welcome back. Braids for AIDS encourages the African-Canadian community to engage in dialogue in safe and open spaces to reduce the stigma and spread of HIV/AIDS. The organization's annual Braidathon presents an excellent opportunity for this.
So we are here at the Braidathon, where beauty meets protection, and that is a good life. We're here with one of the vendors, and what's your name, ma'am?
Mercy.
Mercy, would you please tell us a little bit of what you do and why you're here?
So we are here with Women's Health in Women's Hands. So it's a community health center that works with African, Caribbean and Black women, Latino women, South Asian women. So today our target here, since Braidathon is working towards AIDS prevention and HIV prevention, that is what we do as Women's Health. So we work with women who are at risk of contacting HIV and AIDS. So today what we're doing is we're doing anonymous testing right here on site. So we do have a formed clinic that we have our testers doing the HIV anonymous testing. So we have people coming in and dropping in. So once your hair is done, then you can pop in and do your anonymous HIV testing. We're also giving out people free condoms. So that is for protection. So we're encouraging young women, mature women to come and access our protection kits that we have here.
What is this about?
So this is a female condom, right?
Okay, so how does this work?
So it's again for prevention. You do not use both this and the man condom. If you're using a female condom, then the advantage is that women can wear it ahead of time, right? So if your partner is not understanding and is not ready to use protection, then if your partner does not want to wear condoms, then you can wear the condom. So that way you're taking charge of your own sexual health.
the fact that we had a number of partners want to join in with this. Braids for AIDS is a small organization, but there's many big organizations reaching out to us, wanting to understand how we have been able to infiltrate into different communities. And I have sometimes funders ask me, well, what makes your organization different from other Black AIDS service organizations? And I say, first and foremost, the target population that we reach are typically people who are not engaged in HIV programming. It's people who might be thinking about, yes, getting their hair done, about the beauty piece. But we can talk about women empowerment. We can talk about travel, right? Travel as how it relates to HIV. A lot of young women at universities, oh, I'm going to Cancun, I'm going to Vegas. And I say, what happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas, right? Because if you're having sex abroad, it might be impacting yourself here in Canada. So having those conversations, again, we are tapping into a market that, again, won't typically talk about HIV. Braids for AIDS, its mission is to not only African Caribbean communities in Canada, but internationally. And we've done work in Jamaica, we've done work in Trinidad, but there's plans for the organization to partner with organizations in Africa. We're in current talks with Beautiful World to do some projects to sponsor a young woman in Uganda in regards to getting her beauty certification, and as well as the HIV/AIDS prevention piece information, so that she can be a leader in the community. We'll be launching a calendar on December 1st, which is International HIV/AIDS Day, again featuring women in Toronto, and just spreading light about the epidemic in Canada and internationally. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done, so I think it's about infiltrating the organization in communities that don't have culturally specific HIV/AIDS program is one of my visions for the organization.
That's all for the program. Braids for AIDS has done an excellent job in spreading awareness about HIV/AIDS in the African Canadian community. With a visionary leader like Stachen Frederick, the organization will continue to make a tremendous impact. Remember to join us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. I am Trisha Baby Amawa. See you next time. Goodbye.